Hello, my name is Maria Schmitz. Welcome to the topic of metacommunication. What is it? And what is metapragmatic awareness? Here's a little dialogue for you between Sophie and James. Sophie starts, "Hey James, how was your linguistics class today? It was really interesting. We talked about metapragmatic awareness in language use." Meta what? Metapragmatic awareness. It's basically the ability to understand how language is used in different situations and contexts. Oh, that sounds complicated. Not really. For example, we use different phrases when speaking with friends compared to speaking with our boss. That's an example of using metapragmatic awareness. I see what you mean. So it's being aware of how language can vary depending on who we're talking to? Exactly. And it can also help us avoid misunderstandings or offending someone by understanding the implications of our words. Wow, I never thought about it like that. Sounds like a useful skill to have. Definitely, it's fascinating how much impact language can have in our interactions. You're right. Now I'm curious to learn more about it. Thanks for explaining, James. No problem, Sophie. Happy to share what I learned in class. Why is it important? It's just as important as communication is on a whole. Language is the roadmap of a culture. It tells you where its people come from and where they are going. Rita Mae Brown. The limits of my language are the limits of my world. Ludwig Wittgenstein. Language is the most powerful tool we have for connecting with others and understanding the world around us. Noam Chomsky. Metacommunication is a concept that refers to the act of communicating about communication. In other words, it involves discussing how we are interacting with one another as we engage in conversation. This can include talking about our tone of voice, body language, or even the way we use certain words. One common form of metacommunication is the use of humor. When someone makes a sarcastic comment, for example, they might use a specific tone of voice or facial expression to indicate that they're not being serious. If the listener understands this, they will recognize the remark as a form of metacommunication and respond accordingly. Another example of metacommunication is when we ask someone to repeat what they said because we didn't hear or understand them. By doing this, we're acknowledging that there has been a breakdown in communication and that we need further clarification. Metacommunication can also be used to manage conflict. For instance, if two people are having an argument and one of them says, "Let's take a step back and think about why we're getting so upset." They're using metacommunication to try and diffuse the situation. In addition to these examples, metacommunication can serve several other functions. It can help establish a rapport between people, clarify misunderstandings, and ensure that everyone feels included in the conversation. While metacommunication can be a useful tool, it is important to bear in mind that not everyone recognizes or responds to it in the same way. What may be intended as a joke or an attempt to lighten the mood can sometimes come across as insensitive or inappropriate. Similarly, some people may find it difficult to engage in metacommunication, especially if they are not familiar with the concept or if they are more reserved by nature. By being aware of these differences and adapting our communication style accordingly, we can foster better understanding and more effective conversations with others. That's why it's also introduced in intercultural communication. Now, metacommunication and metapragmatic awareness go hand in hand. So now let's talk about metapragmatic awareness in language use. Metapragmatic awareness refers to the ability to reflect on and understand how language is used in social interactions, as we had said. It involves recognizing the implicit rules and expectations that govern communication, such as taking turns in a conversation or using appropriate politeness strategies. Metapragmatic awareness is an important aspect of communicative competence, as it allows individuals to adapt their language use to different contexts and to interpret others' intentions and meanings more accurately. Research has shown that metapragmatic awareness develops gradually over the course of childhood and adolescence. Young children often struggle with understanding the social aspects of language and may not recognize when they are being too direct or too indirect in their speech. For example, a child might say, "I don't like your drawing," without realizing that this could hurt their friend's feelings. As they get older, children become better at interpreting others' speech acts or adjusting their own accordingly. There are several factors that can influence the development of metapragmatic awareness. One important factor is exposure to different types of language use. Children who grow up in multilingual environments, for example, may have more opportunities to observe and reflect on the ways that language is used in different social contexts. Similarly, children who engage in a variety of social interactions both with peers and with adults, are likely to develop a greater understanding of the social functions of language. Another important factor is the quality of feedback the children receive from their caregivers and other members of their social group. When adults provide explicit explanations of why certain language choices are appropriate or inappropriate in a given situation, children are more likely to develop metapragmatic awareness. For example, if a child says something rude to a friend, a caregiver might explain why this is not a kind thing to say and suggest a more polite alternative. In conclusion, metapragmatic awareness plays a crucial role in language use and development. By reflecting on and understanding the social dimensions of language, individuals can become more effective and sensitive communicators. To drive it home, metapragmatic awareness helps us interpret language. It involves understanding the context of communication. It can be improved through explicit teaching. Being aware of speech acts is a key aspect, and metapragmatic errors can lead to misunderstandings. Furthermore, it helps us adapt to different communication styles. Cultural and social norms affect metapragmatic awareness. Children develop it gradually through interactions. It can be affected by age and language proficiency. Metapragmatic awareness is essential for successful communication.